We're recording. We're ready to go. Super excited. Leigh and I were talking about, this is kind of towards the end of the month. And I know a lot of us have monthly goals or yearly goals that we're trying to hit. And so we're going to talk about basically like what can you do in the next 2.5 days to hit those goals, to hit your non-negotiable Success Club or Emerald or Diamond Rank Advance, whatever it is. And talk about, how you can up your game or how you can take bigger action on the things that maybe you've been doing every day. And then hopefully at the end, if we have time, we're going to spend some time to actually do those items that we're going to talk about. But before we get started in, how can you take this massive action? Might be a little bit of tough love, but just talking a little bit about mindset. Because it is November 28th. So it's been 28 days of the month. If your goal, and I'm assuming that everybody on this call's goal is to build a business to some degree, whether it's just helping 3 people a month, so you want to help your friends and family, if you're looking to build a business. But Success Club has to be a non-negotiable every single month, helping 3 to 5 people get started on their fitness journey. And then Emerald and Diamond, and continuing to grow your business and grow your market and grow your connections. And so if you say are pushing for a Success Club still and haven't hit it, then there's probably 2 things, I would say big things for us to work on our mindset for. If your goal is to hit Success Club and you haven't hit it, but you've been showing up every single day and maybe doing your business hours every single day consistently, you're setting aside that time for your power hour, you're setting aside the time to do the daily vitals. If you're doing that, then we're going to have to work on shifting our mindset towards something. And if you're not doing that, then that's probably why you haven't hit your goals yet. Just being real, raw, and honest with you guys. If you are not treating this business like the business it is and the business it can be, then your goals probably aren't going to happen. You have the potential to really make an impact on people's lives, including your own, if you're willing to, focus on the daily grind, getting in your power hour every single day. But I was listening to Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone this morning. I think he's the author, talking a bit about this idea of our mindset. So if you're showing up every day in your business, you're like, I'm still not hitting Success Club and I don't know what's going on, then, most likely we can give ourselves a lot of these limiting beliefs and give ourselves a lot of these excuses like, oh my gosh, I feel like all I see are people who are Beachbody coaches, or, the problem isn't thinking there's competition, and the problem isn't you not knowing the products, or your customers, potential clients not knowing the products. It isn't that, they don't know what they're getting. It's the real issue is that you're not fully sold on what you have to offer people. You're not fully sold on, what these programs can offer and what this community can offer, and not just the challenge pack itself, but everything else that can come along with that. You need to be so sold on this experience as a whole that if somebody says, no, I don't want to, join your group, then you actually kind of feel bad for them because you know what they're missing out on. And I think we all know that feeling because we've all been a part of one of these transformational groups. We've all been a part of something that has just transformed our lives. And if you're not so sold on that, then you have to get committed to it. You have to become sold on that. And to do so, that means you start today, pick a program, follow it from start to finish, follow the nutrition plan from start to finish, show that entire experience to people. And so that's kind of the mindset shift. So if you're not doing your daily power hour, that is first priority. And if you are doing that and are feeling frustrated, then take a step back and maybe write down everything that this community has given to you. Write down everything that you have felt before and after becoming a part of this community, and how has it transformed your life, and get that to start showing in your conversations with people. Get that to start showing in your social media, in your posts and your stories. so people understand, and so that you are so sold on what you have to offer is valuable. Like coaching, one-on-one coaching with you is so incredible for people because you're going to pour your heart and soul into them, and you're going to give them everything they have, especially if you're on the cusp of hitting Success Club and you get 3 people signed up with you like next month. They're going to be your world for the next month, and you know you can transform their life if they let you. But you have to believe that you can do that. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in the products. Nobody can do it for you. So that's kind of what I wanted to start off with. And I'm going to pass it to Leanna because she's going to take us through some of these action items.
Yes, that's so good. I love hearing that, Megan. So true. And another thing I heard really recently in a video actually called like Unf Your Mindset. It's kind of the same idea, but he literally just says like, if you are not getting people signed up or getting people on board with what you're doing, like it's not necessarily the problem of like the objection that they give you or the self-limiting belief you have, like it's you haven't become an influence in their life. And why haven't you become an influence? Because maybe you're not fully sold on what this has to offer and you're not fighting for it. And like in that, you don't have to be pushy, you don't have to be mean, but you have to believe so wholeheartedly that you are willing to discuss with these people, you know, why this is a better way and why they need to sign up with you. So I wanted to talk about like taking massive action, because a lot of times when we're not hitting our goals and it's the last of the month, like there's only like 2 days left in the month. I don't even know what day it is. I'm like all over the place, but I know there's like very limited time. So it's so important to know in your business, like there are seasons for all different types of actions. You can have a season at the very end of the month where it's time to take massive action like now, and there's other seasons maybe in the middle of the month when you've already hit your goals when you don't have to take massive action. You can just like stick back to those consistent daily vital behaviors and be okay with that. But it totally depends on the season, and it also can depend on like you as a coach and what you like to do. For me, I really love like all or nothing. Like I'm such an all or nothing gal, which can be hard for your health, but for your business, like it's so cool to find different ways to do that. So like I love in the very beginning of the month, or even like today and tomorrow and the next day, since it's the very end of this month, I will take massive action with my invites. I will invite 100 people, and then the next day I'll invite another 100 people, and I'll just like invite like I'm literally mad, and there's nothing else in the world that matters to me like inviting after I get my workout done. But that's what I love to do because it sets up my whole month for success. And if I don't hit Success Club within the first 2 weeks of the month, then I know, well, I did a lot of work and I put a lot of effort into that, and I haven't like invited people necessarily for the past week. So I'm going to like start inviting people again since I haven't hit my goal yet. And then I go back to the drawing board and I kind of like reassess. But for me, I really love that because it gives me like an ebb and a flow, like to go all in, kind of sit back and see what people are saying, see how they're responding, and then go all out again. And for me, most cases, in most experiences of doing this, it works really, really well. I will take massive action on this inviting process and then see people saying yes. A lot of people are going to be saying no, especially if you're taking that much massive action with inviting. And I'm going to hit, like usually I hit my goal of Success Club. And then at the end of the month, like right now, I'm kind of like, I threw a little sale out there online, like on Instagram, got people excited about like that there's still $20 off packages, they can get signed up, but now I'm not stressed out about like hitting this goal. So that is one way you can do it, which I really love doing. Or you can kind of stick back to the small, consistent actions over time and really like reap the benefits of that, because it's like the compound effect. And I also do that. Like I'm still doing my reach outs every single day. I'm doing like 10 a day. But for me, with like the inviting process, invites are really difficult for me, or they were, not really anymore. I really love them now, but they were. And so there are things in my business where I'm like taking small, consistent actions every day. But then like with the invites, I love to do, you know, a big push and then kind of like step back. So obviously the other way of doing everything, even with your invites, even with like your follow-ups, helps with pretty much everything in your business is like those small, consistent actions. And depending on what your schedule is, you can also kind of like work that into your schedule. So like, if you're a person who, like I know Vic is a coach on Team TWH, she works as a nurse 12-hour shifts like 3 days out of the week. And so for her, her schedule is a lot more similar to mine, where it's like this all or nothing thing. And she will do like all of her coaching work on those days she has off from nursing, and because she's working 12-hour shifts. So she's still posting when she's at work for nursing, but she's not like going all out with all these invites. But for somebody, you know, maybe you have like a job like Megan, maybe you are a math teacher, or, you know, you have like a 9-to-5 very consistent job, then you can probably get your coaching work done pretty consistently during the week. But then on the weekends, you can maybe take a little bit more of a push and take more massive action. So kind of to just like break it down for you guys, I feel like this is self-explanatory, but for a long time, I didn't really understand what massive action actually meant. So it's basically taking action on everything you're doing, but times 10. And it doesn't always have to be times 10. If you want a book to teach you how to do everything times 10, read the 10X rule. It's really, really good. But think about like, okay, if I didn't hit Success Club this month, or I haven't hit it yet this month, and I did 10 reach outs a day, 10 invites a day consistently, that was the method I used, and I didn't reach my goal, then you need to kind of like go back and reassess, get in your brain and be like, what can I change? You don't need to change the goal of like Success Club. It's not like you're a failure. There's nothing you need to beat yourself up about. It's just that we need to assess what we're doing and change change like the process on how we're getting to the goal. Change your style of what you're doing. So maybe try doing the thing that I do, or try something that like another coach is doing. Try the more like consistent small actions over time and see if that compound effect can build up for you. So basically, I want you guys to assess, what have you been doing for the past month? How has that been working for you in your business? Are you at Success Club? Like, have you reached your goal of recruiting? And then moving forward, like starting tonight in this call, what are you going to do to make it different or reach your goal in a better way next time? Like, what are you going to keep? Are you going to keep doing the exact same thing? Are you going to, maybe you want to hit a higher SC number next month? Then you need to like 10x your efforts on what you're already doing. And when I say 10x, just know that doesn't always have to be like mean I'm going to do 20 reach outs because I did, 2 last month. No, like it doesn't always have to be times 10. It can be like, I'm going to do 50 reach outs when I was doing 10 before. You can always, like, you can decide because you're the CEO of your own business. So I wanted to talk about like, what are the main things we do as coaches? I kind of like prioritize them this way because I think this is the most important like way to earn your investment back in on, what you're putting into this business. So I always say like invites are number one, because if you're not inviting, if you're not asking people to join you, you like can't make any money from this. You can't get anyone else started on their health journey. So invites number one. Follow-ups number two, because if you're not following up with the people you already invited, those people who said no, then you're not giving them a second shot at if they're willing to do this. You need to be like following up with everyone. And then number 3 and 4 kind of go together, breadcrumbs and then call to actions. So I always breadcrumb like talking about coaching, but what I started doing this month that seriously changed the game for me was breadcrumbing my challenge groups. So I'm like literally every single day I check off on my list talking like breadcrumbing about the group that I have going on to kind of build up this hype and this excitement and energy for the girls who haven't joined yet and will join this coming month, like the people who will join now for my next group. So make sure you're doing all those things, call to actions as well. And like all of those things will help you get to Success Club. So I know there's a lot of you guys who are really close to your goal of Success Club and you've been doing stuff all month long and like you're still not there. And something Carly said in her live video, if you're not in the TFTF Emeralds page, go watch that. But she said, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, she said if you are like, it's the 27th of the month and you haven't hit Success Club yet, she said you've just spent 27 days doing stuff that isn't working for you. So it's kind of going back to that, like, we don't need to change the goal, we just need to change the method. So like, stick to your goal and change how you're going about doing that. So another thing I just wanted to share with you guys that I've been doing that's been working really, really well for me this month is using a power list. So if you're really busy or you don't have a lot of time, use the power list. It's basically where you think, you kind of like brain dump on a piece of paper and you write out all the things that you need to do, or pretty much I do all the things that I need to do for my business in a day. And then you choose the top 5 as these are the things that are like absolutely necessary. Like, I need to do them in order to move my business forward. If I don't do them, like, I feel like a failure. Don't feel like a failure. But if I don't do these things, my business isn't going to move forward. And so then I number them from 1 to 5 in order of that priority. And I make sure to get those things in, because if you're getting those things in, then your business is moving forward and you can go to bed at night feeling like confident that you got those things in and it's actually helping you move your business forward. But yeah, that's like, those are a few things that have been helping me lately. Really, Megan and I just wanted to emphasize, you know, like, you got to be doing all of these things to get Success Club, to hit your goal of Success Club. So we wanted to explain that and then just take some time to actually put these things into action. And also, like, while we're doing this, if you have any questions about things relating to everything we talked about, like, feel free to just like unmute yourself and talk about it. And you can even do that right now as we go into this time of inviting and reaching out and trying to hit our goals.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you say, so what I've been doing is doing like reach outs of just saying like, hey, like, thanks for following me. Like, looks like we have some things in common. And then I ask like a question about something about them. How is that different from your invite? Like, how are you doing it as an invite to the group? Like, what's the difference between those?
Same question.
That is such a good question.
I don't know where that came from.
No, that's such a good question, because I totally remember feeling the same way when people would talk about all these different little things. I was like, wait, what's all the difference? So for me, I reach out to people. I try to reach out to 10 people a day, and it's usually people that I follow or that have followed me. And so it's like a new face on my page, and I say, hey, Alex, I see that you're into yoga. I'm so excited that you followed my page. It means a lot to me. I'm super into yoga too. And then ask a question. So it's like kind of starting the relationship is a reach out. It's like building that relationship with someone. So I'll do the same thing with someone that I follow. Maybe it's like a blogger and I love her style. Then I'll like reach out to her and be like, hey, girl, I really love your style. I'm like I don't feel confident in my style or my fashion sense. So I love following people that are really good at it. Where do you shop? Or like, what's your favorite blah, 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 place to shop. So it's starting the conversation. And then the invite is where you're at that point in the conversation with someone already, hopefully, or you've talked once before. It doesn't have to be like a continual conversation. Like, sometimes I'll reach out to someone that I've had a conversation with maybe a year ago or maybe like a month ago. And then I'll say, hey, Alex, I've noticed you watching my stories lately. How are you doing, girl? I have this new boot camp starting up, and I would love for you to join us. Would you be open to learning more about it? So the invite is very like forward, like, hey, I've got this thing going on. Do you want to join us? Whereas the reach out is more like, let's just start a relationship and like start learning about each other. Does that make sense?
That's a good question. I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you get a no, do you ever go back to those people? Like, is it like, do you wait like a really long time, or like, because I feel like I've gotten a couple no's, and it's like people who like are saying they want change, they want to do all these things, and I know it's just the money. And I mean, this was me too, so it's really interesting to be on the other end of it. But like, is it too soon to reach out, even if it's like a week or two, and just be like, hey, like, have you reconsidered it all? Like, I really feel like this would be helpful for you.
whatever.
I feel like it depends on the person. Like, you kind of have to sense it a little bit, but also I would lean more on the side of not being afraid to reach out again, because if you have genuine intentions and you really truly want to help them like start their journey, then there's nothing to worry about. And like, if they feel like you're just trying to get a sale or whatever, like that's their problem, not yours, because you're not being salesy. But so, I mean, if for me, it depends on the month. Like, if I'm starting a group and it's like the last day and the group's starting tomorrow, I usually reach out to people, even if I talked to them earlier in the day and they said they wanted to sign up, because I'm like, I want you to get in on this group. You told me you wanted to get on, like, in this group. So I feel like it's like a kind gesture to reach back out to those people. But if it was like they filled out my form yesterday and I didn't have a group starting for like another month, then I probably wouldn't, or I would wait until, I don't know, like wait a week or something like that. But I mean, I send out probably like 300 emails of follow-ups every single month just to people that have been in my pipeline, and most of the time nobody responds, but it's me just saying, hey, I've got this group going on. This is what we're going to do this month. It's holiday themed. We're doing giveaways. I'm really excited for it. Like, how are you doing? How's your health routine? How was your holiday? Like, let's chat and see if you can get in on this.
Something I found that helps a lot too with easing people's mind with money, especially if it's like I can see that they are spending money on trips to the nail salon or getting their hair done or something. It's like, you have the money. It's reassuring them a little bit with the 30-day back money guarantee, where it's like, look, like, you've been telling me you want to make this change for a while. You've been following my stories like every single day for the last 4 months. You've been liking on my posts. Like, let's get you set up, at least try it. And if for some reason you don't like it, you can send it back. Or if for some reason it doesn't vibe, like, you can send it back.
So that's even like if they've drank the Shakeology, they can send back whatever's left.
Empty bag. Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah. So that helps a lot of people, because like, I get the hesitation. It's like, for me at least, I tried so many things before, and it's like, I'd spent so much money already, and it's like, why do I spend money on something else? And it's like, knowing that I could send it back if it didn't work. And I don't think I've ever had anybody actually send it back, because clearly we know it works.
Right. Yeah.
I have a question to tag on to that. So I've been doing where if people say like, or they show interest and then they just kind of like you said, they say no, that it's not a good time or they don't have the money. I've been saying like, okay, no worries. Like, at this point, would you like me to add you to like my list when I run like my next free group to try it out? Or is that like kind of putting myself in that bad, like kind of just ending it for myself?
Leanna, you can pitch in a little bit, but I don't know that I would offer them the free group from the start. But whenever I do free groups, I tend to just put it out there and make people kind of reach out to me or fill out my poll or send a link. Like, they have to do a little bit of work to get into it. But I would think it would also depend on the time of the month and where your next group is and when your next free group is. Like, if you're not starting a challenge group for 3 weeks and you have a free group starting on Monday, like, sure, maybe. But also because it's kind of the end of the month now, if you're trying to push for your goals, I would make sure that they have just all of the information first.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot when people would say no because of like the price issue. I would be like, well, would you be willing to like hop in a free group so that you can get a glimpse of it? Because I would always do like those free sneak peeks. And
that's what I was thinking.
I feel like it was helpful to show them and like give them a glimpse. I feel like there was a season where it like worked really well, but then it's kind of stopped working. And I don't know if that was just because my free groups changed or if like people just weren't joining them as much. But I mean, I would try it. Like, if people are willing to try it out and see what you have to offer, then you might as well like try to keep building the relationship with them, as long as it's not like so much effort on your part to just remember like it is a free group. So I always try to find the balance of like, if it's free group, then I want to like give them my valuable time, but not to a point where it's like taking up more time than like a regular challenge group would.
Well, I actually was one of those girls that you put in your free group before I signed up with you. So
I feel like I remember that because I remember like hosting one where I was walking all over the place and like I was outside and
yeah, so that's what I was thinking back to. I'm like, I guess it worked on me, but I don't know if it works for everybody or if that's a smart move. But okay, thanks.
And I feel like it might depend on the person too. Like maybe one person really likes that. Like they love getting your time. And so they're like, ooh, I want more of that. And so then they'll hop in because of that. But then other people, they might just not be ready yet. So, I mean, you can't lose. I feel like you're not losing anything by trying it except like your own time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heather, you trying to ask a question? Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know how to do a free group. Like I've never known that was a thing before. So that's very interesting to me. I probably would do it right away. But like if I have a bunch of people that are interested, I would probably throw one together, especially like if they're people that I know and everything. So I was just wondering how to go about that.
Anything you want. So it can be about anything you want. It's not using Beachbody on demand, but you can because there is a 14-day free trial. I've actually never done that. Free groups, I have one going on now that I'm calling like Eat for Abs, and it's just a healthy eating group after the holidays. And I usually make one post or like one poll in my stories about it just to connect with people and show them a snippet of what it could be like, and it provides some accountability. I've done like meal prep groups. I think we've done like miracle morning groups or a week of yoga groups or something like that. Just building that connection and getting people to understand like the community that could come with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I always used to run groups that were like free sneak peek kind of groups, and Amanda and I ran one last weekend, and it was pretty successful. But basically, you can make your free group, like Megan said, anything you want. But my free sneak peek groups, I would basically explain to people like what my boot camp was all about. It was kind of like an info group, but I would give them like a little, I guess like a little bit of accountability, and I would say, I would come up with like random fitness challenges sometimes and be like, hey, let's all like go for a 10-minute walk today, or like let's make sure we get 10 push-ups in today or something. But just something to like kind of like spark their interest on like getting healthier, and then show them the online gym. Like I would like take a video of my computer showing them the gym, and I would show them all the resources they get. And then so like at the very end, I usually did like 3 days, and at the very end of the group I would be like, so like if you guys want this like continued support and community, you can start out with me as your coach and like sign up for a challenge pack. Then I'd usually just do like a poll and say like, who wants to start out, who wants to try that. I can add you to one of my old free groups if you want, and you can like explore through them. They're really,
that would be awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Heather, I just did one too, like a week ago. I did a free day intro to yoga group, and it's still up. So I can add you if you want to take a peek.
Yeah, please. That'd be awesome.
they're super great for when you're just starting out, because a lot of people don't know necessarily like what you're about. And so it's kind of like, I don't even know, it's almost like having like a party. If you're like a brick and mortar like space selling something, or a yoga studio or anything, it's like having a big opening party.
Cool.
I have to say though, not to be a downer, but like the people I had in my group were so like not responsive. Like they were like watching my stories, and I like put it out there that I was going to do it, and they were like, I'm interested. And then I like did it, and they were like, oh, like I had a really busy week. Like I didn't get around to watching it, but I was like, whatever. Like I did it. It's out there.
I'm in the same situation too.
You did it too?
Yeah.
What group did you do?
I'm not working on it, but I'm trying. Well, actually, you guys say all the same question. That's how we're gonna say. But yeah, I was trying to work on it, but I'm trying to like figure out like what should I do as a group, if it's a customer or being as a coach, or you both. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
You're kind of muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone. So I was trying to like figure out if I do like a customer or like a coach and things like that, but I don't know if I can do like both of them at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm making a free group as inviting them as like a customer. You know what I'm saying?
Love that you guys are all into free groups.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
We're gonna get kicked off in like 2 minutes, but Leanne and I really wanted to give less than a minute. Just kidding. We were hoping to set aside some time. I'm sorry if you guys can hear Ryan gaming in the background. But for us to actually take this massive action, because the reality is the end of the month is in 2 days. And so if you're pushing for a Success Club or Emerald or a Diamond or whatever it is, like now is the time to push. It's a non-negotiable. If you are serious about wanting to build a business, if you are serious about wanting to help people through this community, non-negotiable, minimum 3 to 5 lives changed every single month, because that's adding people to your network. It's not just like, we don't say Success Club 6 to be like, just check that box off. It's because that's how you grow trust in you and your abilities. That's how you grow your clientele base. That's how you grow your potential team. And so, I mean, we say it all the time, it's a non-negotiable. It's got to happen. And so doing whatever it takes to make it happen. If you have not followed up with your friends or family that have said they are interested, do that tonight. If you have coworkers or cousins or, you know, friends of friends or post roommates from college or, you know, what was that?
Grandmas,
like anybody who could potentially benefit from these products that we use. And that's literally everybody. So take bite the bullet, do what you need to do in the next 2 days to make it happen. But also recognize if it doesn't, December, but make it happen.
do you want to, I could post a new link if anybody wants to stay around and like get some work done. And then for anybody who can't, you can just keep going on with your life.
Yeah, let's, I'll wrap up this recording. And then if you guys want to hop on and we can just work for a little bit, we can do that.
Yay.
Another recording.
Yeah.
It's going to kick us off any